Hi there, and Powerfully Unlabeled here. I would like to share another one of my dreams that I had last night. Sometimes I will have very lucid dreams that are really profound, very emotional, and very thought provoking within me, and I just feel like they're very significant. And this one of the two that I'm going to share with you. This one here, um, I was me, okay, but I didn't know any of the other characters in the dream. There were several characters in the dream. Uh, we were in this room, and it was like a waiting room. Um, we were waiting for buses. Okay, it was a transport station of sorts or whatever, but it was kind of like almost like it was a waiting room for adolescent kids, teenagers, and or kids or whatever. But there was teenagers there that was waiting for a bus, and I was just me. I was there, perhaps waiting for a bus too, or something. But and then there was two female supervisors, teachers, whatever, that were there to watch over the adolescents while they were waiting for their bus to arrive. And I was just kind of sitting there, doing my own thing, and observed an interaction between an adolescent boy and the group. And this boy just got very agitated because apparently the bus was late. And he was very, very upset. I mean, he had gotten up and he was just pacing back and forth. He was very irritated and upset, and he began to raise his voice to the group, to the teachers, just speaking out loud his frustration about the situation. And he was saying, one thing that he said in particular was something along the lines of, "This is the second time this week that this has happened, and I know it was my fault the first time. I didn't get ready in time, and I was late for the bus. But this time, I made sure I was on time. I'm here, I'm gonna be on time for school, but now I'm not because now the bus is late," and he's just so upset, so angry. And he's like, and then he said, "No matter what I do, I'm always gonna be late for school." Like this, he was just so mad. And one of the supervisor women, she stood up and in her attempt to calm him down, I don't recall her exact words, but just trying to get him to just something along the lines of, "Just sit down and be patient. It will be here soon," kind of in a stern way. But her reaction, it made him even more angry. Like he was even more angry. And so she then, she got a game or something, dominoes or something like that. And she's like, "Here, play this game. This will make you forget about it." He wasn't having it. He was like, "No, I don't want to play this game. I'm angry, la la la." He's just like pacing back and forth, just faster and faster, just more yelling, just really upset. And he's just like, nobody gets it, nobody cares, nobody, he was just so mad. And then in her last attempt, she had, I forget what it was, but it's some kind of an item that she wanted to give him. It's like, maybe, I don't know, when I was a teacher, we had these treasure boxes full of like prizes for certain students that, like, for a reward, they could have a certain toy, and like you would always make sure you had these so that it would be a good incentive for them to behave if you gave them this item, right? So it was kind of like that. It's like she had an item that she wanted to give him to see if that would quiet him down. He just kept getting more and more upset. And at that point in time, I got up and I intervened, and I stood up and I looked at the adolescent boy, and I said, "Hey, I understand how you feel. I don't like being late either, you know. I'm late sometimes to things, and it really upsets me too. I really hate being late. I totally get it. I understand why you're mad. You know, it's a legit reason to be mad sometimes, you know, being late. You know, I hate that too." And the supervisor teacher, she did not like that I intervened. She was really saucy with me. She got up and kind of puffed up her chest and like, "How dare you intervene with my student," you know. And I don't know, like in the teaching world, it's kind of a taboo thing that you don't intervene when a teacher is doing her disciplinary thing with her student or whatever. So I kind of went against the mainstream taboo thing by getting up and intervening. But it's like I had a knowing that all the kid needed was acknowledgement of his anger, and that it was okay to be angry, you know. And but she was so mad with me. She just got up and well, you what a bleep, you know. And but she didn't say it. She stopped herself. She said the but then stopped, and then the student saw the interaction between me and the supervisor, and then he, in seeing that interaction, he said, "You know what? I'm not going to sit with you." To the supervisor, he says, "I'm not going to sit with you. I'm just going to sit down right here." And he came and he sat down right next to me, and he just calmed right down. And it's like it was magic. It's like he just sat there and he's just like, "Okay, it is what it is. I'm going to be late again. She understands. I'm just going to sit next to her until whatever." And then, so that kind of, the supervisor that was angry with me for intervening, she was kind of taken aback. And she stopped getting angry, and she just kind of, it's like she was buffering, like a computer buffers, you know. And then there was another supervisor woman that chimed in, and she looked at me and she said something along the lines of, "Well, what a really kind thing for you to do." To me. And then I don't recall after that what else happened in the dream or when it ended, but I think those were the most important parts for me to remember anyway. That's kind of how it works. But when I woke up, I was just really pondering about that. And I was just I was talking out loud to my higher self, you know, my soul, like, why was I shown that dream? Like, there's so many different messages in it, you know, but one of the biggest things that I was shown was that I was reminded about the energy that was floating around in the city yesterday. I do deliveries in the city where I live, and the energies that are fluttering around, I don't know if you've observed this where you're at or whatever, but there's just a lot of irritability and anger going on just everywhere. I mean, there's so much tension going on with it being a political year and the environmental things happening around the country, and all of that, and the solar storms, the geomagnetic storms happening, and all that. Tensions are really high in the collective environment with everybody in general. And I feel like it's a really important message just to remind, anyone who sees this video and who, agrees with me that we just try to be patient with each other, because it's really hard right now, especially for the adolescents, the kids. There's a lot of stuff happening, and tensions are running high, and people are going to have short fuses out there. People are going to be popping off at each other. Yesterday, I observed 2 interactions in particular in real life, right in front of me, of blown out arguments, both in restaurants. I'm not going to say the name of the restaurants or anything like that, but one of them I went into, and there was this woman holding her child and had a spout out with the cashier woman about, she said something like, thanks for the, oh God, what did she say? Like the cashier woman was spouting off at her about something, and she kind of spouted back to her in a sarcastic way, well, thanks for the, and I saw that, and she just kind of stomped out. I was like, whoa, that was right in front of me. And you can just feel the tensions. That's not something you normally see, And then, there's a third one. And then I was out in the parking lot, and there was a man, like literally parked right next to me. He slams his door like really loud and F-bomb, like just really, really angry, And then there was another one. Okay, I can't recall the third one, but there was another one in a restaurant. It might come to me later. But anyway, and then I noticed also when I was driving, like you can really tell what's going on with your community with how people are driving in the traffic situations. But it seems like people are like, they're either kind of in this zombie mode, like they can't make a decision. I don't know if you've noticed this lately, but it's like there's a green light, they're right in front of you, and they're like, their blinkers on, and they're gonna turn, but they're like not. They're just, should I go? Should I not? And you're like, sir, the light's not getting any greener. Come on, buddy, Or there's this other situation where there's people right behind you, and they're literally going 80 miles or like they're so impatient that they're like obnoxiously swerving in around because they can't, So tension, I'm just seeing a lot of tensions going on. So with this dream message and with what's going on in the community, this is a reminder or a heads up that, tensions are high right now. Tensions are really high. And most especially with our adolescent kids, our teenagers, our children and stuff like that. They're very intuitive. They're very sensitive. And so, they're going to be irritable and angry because they're going to feel it too, So it's going to be really important for us to just really try to hold space with them, and don't judge. Try not to judge people for feeling angry. I don't know if I posted a video about black and white and how I can just show you real quick. There's black and there's white. You could think of these as emotions: happy, angry, or peace, anger. You could think of it like that. Anger, peace, It does not matter which one represents which. But I mean, if you think of it that way, it's like the whole balance of emotions. Every emotion is equally important to feel, you know, for the balance of emotions. And just to don't judge people for being angry. If they're not projecting it at you or doing it to you, you know, directly, to just kind of take a breath in and just like let it go, you know, try to let it go. Or if you're close to this person, just be like, you know what, I know you're angry. Like I can imagine if I was in your situation, how that could make me feel angry too. You know, all they need is that simple acknowledgement, and you know that it is a human thing to feel emotions, and it's okay. What's not okay is to direct it towards other people. But if you're doing it in a you're releasing that anger in a safe way, you know, it's okay. You know, speaking out loud to the air about how you feel is, in my opinion, it's completely fine. It's safe. You're not hurting anyone. You know, it might make someone feel a little uncomfortable because they're not used to hearing other people yell or raise their voices, but just to make people aware that it's okay. It's okay. And just to try not to take these things personally, and take a deep breath in and be like, okay, tensions are high right now. I'm going to try to be really patient, you know, and be understanding and have grace for these people. Okay? That was the biggest thing that I got for that. And to, when you see things like this in the public, you know, I'm not saying go and hunt for things to go be this warrior for everybody, but you know, if your heart is pulled to like help calm someone down, and you know that you have that wisdom, like I have a background in special education and teaching. And oh, that's another thing I remember about the dream, is that I had expressed to her what my experience was after she almost called me the, you know, I explained to her very calmingly my experience and my expertise in working with children, and just gave her that perspective. And then they were able to kind of calm down a little bit. But yeah, you know, if you, sometimes you're put in situations right up in your face because you're a person that could be of help in that situation. So if you're not always, but you know, you'll feel it in your heart and in your gut if that's right for you to do that or not, you know. So I think that was another part of it, because that's an area where I struggle, is knowing when it's appropriate to intervene and when it's not, you know. And it's scary to intervene sometimes, but when it has to do with, you know, it's a loving intention, and you're really like, if you're really in tune to your heart and your gut, and you just have that overwhelming knowing that this is right for me to do this, then it probably is, you know. If there's doubts, if there's a lot of doubt there, then it's probably not your thing to intervene with. Okay? I love y'all so much. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Mwah.